I want to explain to you why your kids are completely addicted to junk food and they can't get a normal diet going. Most of the kids, if they would just eat some more protein, for sure, if they would eat some fat and eggs and chicken and stuff like that, they would be able to focus, but instead they just pound carbohydrates. The reason is because im das chasarta ma kanisa. If you are missing das, knowledge, then you have bought nothing. This is also expressed in English as the only real knowledge is self-knowledge. And what that means is, if a kid does not have goals and he has never been in an environment that is conducive to figuring himself out and developing self-knowledge, meaning in an organic environment, not an abstract environment like a school. A school, you're with the same age people and there's a bell and that rings and you have to stop doing what you're doing and you have to go do something else. You don't really get to think about the things you want to think about, or just be a kid and run around and learn how to self-regulate and learn anything about yourself. And when you get home, you have TV. So self-knowledge is really the key to be able to figure out, oh, these things that I'm eating are not getting me closer to my goals, and these things I'm eating are making me feel sluggish. They don't even know they're feeling sluggish. A lot of these kids are not eating breakfast and they're eating junk food all day, and they're just not aware, despite some of them, let's say they do have some goals, right? They haven't broken down exactly what needs to be worked on or a tochnit specifically, but they have goals. But because they're lacking self-awareness and self-knowledge, they can't figure out for themselves that the food they're eating is causing them to feel unfocused and lethargic and just unmotivated and down. So that's the reason why your kids are eating this food, because they're in an environment which is completely inorganic in terms of allowing themselves to figure out themselves, self-knowledge and self-awareness. And hence, if das chasarta makanita, if you do not have self-knowledge, nothing else is going to really help you navigate your life. It's like watching a bunch of those hack videos, this hack, and you could sit there and be like, whoa, that's so smart. Why don't we ever do those videos, right? Isn't that strange? They're so smart. This is because hachachma techaya es baleha. Wisdom will give you chiyas. When you hear a nice flash of wisdom, you'll go, wow, that's a great idea. The reason why we never incorporate any of these ideas is because we never confronted that problem, experienced it as a problem, gave it some of our thought, maybe our own suggestions, or tried to even figure out the problem, possibly even failed, and then figured out the solution, right? So that's why you can see a bunch of hacks, and you'll be like, yes, that's so interesting. It's like learning a lot of lumdis without learning the shakvataria. It'll be super interesting, and it'll give you like flashes and glimpses. It'll give you a lot of chiyas, but in terms of actually changing you and helping you get into like better behaviors and do things better, Chachma is not going to give you that physical connection to the thing that needs to be done. That's why our kids need to have space and they need to have autonomy in order for them to just develop self-awareness. If the majority of their life they are in an infrastructure where none of that exists, in fact, it's like really the Matrix. They think it's like this real reality. You're trapped in this place, right, where everything is scheduled and you're graded, and the entire dynamics is dynamics that do not allow for learning about yourself. And that is what is the most and crucial part of being a kid, because they're going to grow up and they're going to get older, and then they're going to be really confused. What do I want to do? How do I do those things? And unfortunately, having missed that developmental window of childhood where you're supposed to just figure stuff out by yourself in a organic and like way where there's a big picture involved, you can kind of learn stuff from the older people, see the younger kids, talk to the old guy, oh, what do you do? And look at this guy. And once you miss that whole organic atmosphere, it becomes so difficult. So if you are listening to this and you're concerned for your kid, there's a lot to be concerned about, because what I'm seeing is that kids are getting older and they're going to have to go through this cycle eventually. And in my experience teaching the older boys 18, it's really sad when you see guys who have been in the system for so long come to Eretz Yisrael and they just let loose. They miss those, let's say, 4 years of playing around in their youth, and it's like kind of like sleep. You need to catch up on that sleep. You're going to need it. So they're going to need years of playing and self-discovery. Except when you're older, there are much more ramifications. It's not as simple. So let your kids be kids. Keep them in a very organic setting where they can do the things they want to do. Develop a feeling, a sense of self That way, when they get older, they're going to know how to problem solve. They're not going to be eating junk food, and at least they'll be able to determine, well, I know it's bad for me, and it makes me feel like this. My goals are this, and maybe I should stop this. So these are just some suggestions for the new year, for your kids. If you're concerned, you should be concerned, because there's an epidemic happening, and it's hard for me to see. So guys, take control, help your kids develop some sense of self, and if the need be, you should probably get them out of school, if that's what they need. So look into that as well.